We have a lot of Steelers news and rumors to cover here on a Monday after a busy weekend. First up today, Mike Tomlin inks a 3-year extension to be the head coach of this football team through 2027. I'll give my thoughts at the top of today's show. Then we'll dive into the latest reports surrounding Brandon Aiyuk and his kind of devolving contract negotiations with the San Francisco 49ers. Could a trade still be possible for the black and gold? I'll give my answer, and then make sure you guys stick around for the latest on Cam Heyward, where a Steelers insider says that they are close to a deal, and he expects something to get done before training camp. Before we get into today's news and rumors here on Steelers Talk, we are going to be doing our first Skenes Day watch party right here on the channel tomorrow when Paul Skenes, the rookie sensation for the Pittsburgh Pirates, takes the hill against the rival Cardinals at Busch Stadium. Tomorrow, we're going to be going live 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so if you want to join us, go ahead and subscribe, and also make sure you click that notification bell so you know every time we have a Paul Skenes watch party. And guys, if it goes well, we're going to keep doing them. If you guys show up, if you guys show out, the super chats are going, all that great stuff. We're going to keep doing these here throughout the summer to give you guys another watch party experience while we wait for football season here on Steelers Talk. So our live schedule today, we're going live 3 times. Tuesday for the Paul Skenes watch party, again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Then we have our 2 normally scheduled live shows on Wednesday and Friday with our Madden simulations, both starting at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now, because we got a full slate of live shows here on Steelers Talk this week. You're not going to want to miss it. So let's start with the big news of the day, which is that the head coach of the Steelers for the last 17 seasons, entering his 18th season, Mike Tomlin, just inked a new 3-year contract extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And honestly, guys, I can't think of a person more deserving to be this team's head coach than Mike Tomlin. He's got the best winning percentage of any head coach in franchise history, which is crazy because we know, the history of this franchise and how many, great coaches have coached here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has the highest career record win rate with 62.1, which is also 6th among active NFL head coaches, and most of the guys above him have coached for less than 100 games, and they've had recent success and early success in their careers. Mike Tomlin has had that, what's the word here? Elongated, consistency with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. And of course, over 17 seasons, it's hard to never have a losing season. That is something that Mike Tomlin has done. He's currently second in terms of overall wins among current head coaches with 181, 7 division championships, which is tied for third among active coaches, and then 2 AFC championships, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and 1 Super Bowl victory, all tied for second among NFL head coaches currently. But watch out, guys, because we know how fluid the National Football League can be, and if the Steelers severely go below their expectations this year with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and once again, if he gets his first losing season this year and the Steelers don't make the playoffs, I do think Art Rooney II could consider potentially firing Mike Tomlin at the end of the season. So yes, it's nice to see Coach T get locked up here for the next 4 years here, a 3-year extension through 2027. But he does have to perform if he's going to keep this job long term. Now, you tell me. Let me know down there in the comments section. Did Mike Tomlin deserve this 3-year contract extension, even though this team hasn't won a playoff game in quite a while? Give me a yes or a no for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by giving me a yes or a no down there in the comments. So let's talk about Brandon Aiyuk here, because the rumors have definitely been resurfacing here. Earlier this offseason, there was serious trade rumors between the Steelers and the 49ers for Brandon Aiyuk, for Deebo Samuel, and the ones for Aiyuk kind of died down for a while. But it seems like the contract negotiations between Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers have kind of devolved here. And there was a bevy of reports starting last weekend, Friday, starting with Ayuk's personal wide receiver coach, TJ Houshmandzadeh. He's a former NFL wide receiver, had a really long and prosperous career in the National Football League. He had this to say about Ayuk's contract situation. At one point, Aiyuk thought he may sign with San Francisco this offseason, and so that optimistic outlook has turned into a pessimistic outlook now. So apparently Aiyuk is kind of seeing the situation as San Francisco doesn't want to pay me the number that I want to be paid. And then ESPN's Jeremy Fowler came out with an update this weekend as well, saying both sides have had negotiations, but it hasn't really graduated to something where it's going to get done and it's intensified. So they got the next 6 weeks over the summer before training camp to try to get it done, or he might not show up based on him not showing up to minicamp as a precedent. And even San Francisco 49ers insiders are conceding that the two are pretty far apart in contract negotiations at this point. According to 49ers insider Mike Silver, I'm hearing maybe their offer is in the $26 million per season range, which, it's certainly not Justin Jefferson money, nor should it be, but it's closer to the Devontae Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, that next tier down. So coming up here, I'm going to tell you whether or not Brandon Aiyuk, if that's a trade possibility for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if so, is he worth the price of trading whatever you're going to have to trade for him, plus give him that $30+ million per season contract. I'll let you guys know what I think here in just a second, but first, today's edition of Steelers Talk is brought to you by Mando Whole Body Deodorant. Get $5 off a starter pack today when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com. Ditch the soap and step up to the plate with Mando Whole Body Deodorant today. Developed by a doctor, this game-changing formula is safe for your entire body and knocks out odor like a champ. Mando is made with mandelic acid, which picks off odor at the source, keeping you fresh for up to 72 hours. Mando is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for on-the-go use. Don't let foul balls ruin your game. Switch to Mando and keep your body odor in fair territory by taking advantage of their special offer for new customers of $5 off their best-selling starter pack when you go to shopmando.com and use code CHAT. Guys, I absolutely love their products. I use their body wash every single day. It's a bourbon leather body wash, and I started with just this little tube here, and then I have my whole bottle of my own at home. I love it that much, guys. I know you're going to love it too. You can get this little bottle here of the bourbon leather body wash in your starter pack today, which is perfect for new customers, by the way, because it comes with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, plus 2 free products of your choice. So you can choose the mini body wash, or you can also get their highly rated deodorant wipes, which is absolutely fantastic for on-the-go use. Plus, you get free shipping, so there's no reason to not try it out. Luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market today. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code that equates to over 40% off your starter pack. So use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. A big thank you to Mando Whole Body Deodorant for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. Listen, guys, when it comes to Brandon Aiyuk, $26 million per year in today's wide receiver market is just not going to cut it if you are the San Francisco 49ers. And if you want him to stay long-term, you're going to have to pay him probably close to top 5 money here, because you look at the various, pay points here for all these top receivers. Of course, Justin Jefferson gets that mega deal this offseason, $35 million per season. A.J. Brown last year gets a $32 million deal. Tyreek Hill and then Amon-Ra St. Brown are tied for third right now at 30. That's probably where Brandon wants to be slated into. And then Jalen Waddle, who had a less productive season than Brandon last year, got a $28.25 million contract as well. So, this just doesn't make sense for a $26 million contract for somebody that was a second-team All-Pro last year. And if I was him, I would be asking for $30 million per year, because if I'm Brandon, I know I'm one of the best route runners in football. I'm highly productive. I'm a second-team All-Pro, and there's less productive players out there getting new contracts at more money than what the San Francisco 49ers are offering me. So if I'm Aiyuk, I am not going off my spot. I want at least $30 million per season. And based on the reports out there, the Steelers are still absolutely interested in making a trade with the San Francisco 49ers for Brandon Aiyuk services. This is an update from Steelers Update on Twitter this weekend, saying the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to pursue a trade for San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk per a league source. Aiyuk and the 49ers have made almost no progress on a new deal. Although San Francisco would prefer to keep Aiyuk, it's becoming increasingly likely that the deal or that the team deals him. So listen, when it comes to my take on a Brandon Aiyuk trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the only way San Francisco is going to even consider trading him, because he is a second-team All-Pro, they really like him, is if he demands a trade. And if they're really only offering him $26 million per year, it's at least a possibility that Aiyuk is like, hey, man, you either pay me what I want or I'm demanding a trade out of here to somebody that will give me the contract that I'm looking for. Now, San Francisco, this is probably what they're going to want. They're probably going to want a first-rounder next year, a third-rounder the year after that, and then also an upgrade along the offensive line to give them some immediate value here, because those draft picks don't come till next offseason. You get James Daniels there, send Aaron Banks to the Steelers. However, what you have to keep in mind here is that if Aiyuk demands a trade, that immediately takes away a lot of the leverage that San Francisco currently possesses on the trade market, because teams know, hey, Aiyuk's not going to be on your team next year, so you're going to take whatever we offer you, all right? Now, there will be a bidding war. I don't think it's going to be like Brandon Aiyuk for a fourth-round pick or anything like that, but I do think it's going to come at a lower price tag if Aiyuk does in fact decide to demand a trade. But overall, guys, my prediction here is I do think Brandon Aiyuk and the Niners will come to terms on a long-term deal eventually before this season, and I don't think San Francisco will trade either Aiyuk or Deebo Samuel before the start of this year. I mean, they are competing for titles right now. They want to keep as much talent on their roster as they can, and they can afford to keep Aiyuk and Deebo on their roster for another year, so I think they decide to do that. And another thing to keep in mind here is that the 49ers really do wait a long time to finish these kinds of big contracts. Nick Bosa's deal waited all the way till September 6th last year to get a deal done. Then we got Deebo Samuel the offseason before that, had to wait till July 31st. So it seems like what the San Francisco 49ers like to do here is they like to lowball on their initial offer. They don't come off of it until very late into the offseason, where they seem to eventually cave and give the players what they want. So I do think Aiyuk will get a deal done eventually, and he won't be a Steeler. If you're looking for a more likely trade target for the Steelers, I think it's probably going to be Courtland Sutton. If he doesn't show up to Broncos mandatory minicamp this week and he says, hey, man, you're not paying me the contract, and we know the Broncos are in real cap straits right now. If he's saying, I'm not playing on a new contract, and he doesn't show up to mandatory minicamp, I think he could get traded to the Steelers for like a third-round pick or something like that. And then another option to keep your eye on in free agency is Michael Thomas. He's been having discussions with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It certainly seems like if the Steelers can't make a trade for a bigger name, they're going to go out and get Michael Thomas in free agency. So let me know down there in the comments section. We kind of broke it all down for you guys here. Who's going to be the next wide receiver, too, for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Type BA if you think Brandon Aiyuk, CS for Courtland Sutton, MT for Michael Thomas, or O if you think it's going to be another free agent or trade target for the Steelers. We'll finish up today's show here with a report from Mark Kaboly, where he says that he expects Cam Heyward, defensive tackle and team captain for the Steelers, to sign a contract extension by the start of training camp this year. This is what Mark had to say about a potential Captain Cam deal. I think it'll be done. I think it'll be done before camp. But if it's not done right before camp, then darn close before camp. And that's just my anticipation right here. I've been saying it forever. Both of them are going to have to come off their number a little bit right now, whatever it is, but I think they'll get it done. Cam wants to be here, and the Steelers want him to be here. They need him, so I mean, they're grown adults, they're humans, they know what needs to be done here to be able to bring him in here. Okay, so that's a lot of hears from Mark Kaboly, but I'm absolutely on the same page when it comes to a potential Cam Heyward extension. Cam wants to be here. The team wants him to be here. He's an excellent player. I do think Cam wants to give the team a little bit of cap flexibility while still getting paid his fair share for all the stuff that he's been able to do for not only on the field but also off the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers in over the last decade plus here in the Steel City. So definitely deserves that, and I do think a deal will get done. But predict it for me down there in the comment section. Will Cam Heyward sign an extension before training camp with the Steelers? Type E if you think he's going to get that extension, or type W if you think the team won't give him that extension. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's show. Remember, tomorrow is the start of Steelers mandatory minicamp. We're going to be having full coverage of that all throughout the week. We've got all these live shows for Paul Skenes Day tomorrow. Then we've got 2 live shows Wednesdays and Fridays for the Steelers content specifically. So lots of great stuff coming your way. And if you want more content from me on Twitter, I'm at Jack_Sperry. Going to be putting out a bunch of clips from mandatory minicamp this week. And also make sure you click that subscribe button to never miss any of our Steelers content all throughout mandatory minicamp week.